Hello, Amy. So I decided I wanted to do a TED Talk for this final. And similar to my last TED Talk, I wanted to kind of give a show of where I'm at. I'm in my lab right now because it's a quiet place where I don't have to fuss with all the chaos of the library. So here is a $300,000 Raman spectrometer. We got a bunch of tools. We got a vacuum chamber and a little spot for me to sit and study. So, I decided I wanted to do a video kind of like a stream of consciousness, just talking about, all the aspects of this class. And I decided to pick the sharpened leadership skills of problem solving, communication, relationships, and things of that sort. So, I guess I'll go through the questions sort of one by one. So first off, what were your impressions of servant leadership? Loved it. I had never heard of servant leadership before in my life. And I think the idea of leading by example and with purpose and having like this level of passion and your own persona and your own character leading into others and kind of affecting them just really resonated with me. The next would be, have they changed since the beginning of class? I would say yes. I really want to carry on the servant leadership ideology further in my life. I plan on actually rereading Cashman's book, maybe once school's done, maybe once I get my first job, depending on grad school, and kind of like, I want to hold on to the book. I feel like it's very valuable, and then kind of diagnose it at a higher level. Maybe I should take notes, highlight key points, things of that sort. Tie to the readings of Cashman as well as the articles, videos, and guest speakers. So the three areas that I connect to most with Cashman's book are purpose mastery, resilience mastery, and being mastery. Purpose is just kind of like the Simon Sinek video we watched, illustrating the Wright brothers, illustrating Martin Luther King, and leading from a sense of purpose and almost inspiring others to work for you rather than them trying to work for you just to get a paycheck. And I really resonated with that, and I want to develop that more, but that's an area I really want to focus on. I feel like resonates with me. The next one was resilience mastery, and I have a connection with this just because I was, at a different place in the, in my past, and I kind of was able to get to here at Pepperdine and now apply to grad school, and it took a lot of resilience. You kind of roll with the punches. It's not about how hard you get hit; it's how how quickly you get back up and keep on getting the ball rolling. So that I really love that, and I want to develop that further, and grow in that way. The next one would be being mastery, and I really love the whole idea of meditation. I grew up with it with my mom. She's very spiritual and kind of into the meditation, lifestyle. I will have to admit my efforts in this class were limited just to the Headspace activity, but I want to sort of explore meditation going on through winter break and on, because the benefits in being mastery, I believe, was our sunrise services focus. So we kind of had a little bit more in-depth analysis of that area, but I want to incorporate that more in my life. So the next one would be, do you believe a person can be successful in business and be a servant leader? Yes, 100%. I feel like people take on the idea of Steve Jobs being rude, being sort of a dictatorial leader rather than being a servant leader. And I think you don't have to compromise productivity. You don't have to compromise, the bottom line by being a servant leader. You can do both. Maybe even better so, or more so, with being a servant leader, because you're inspiring others. Because somebody might instead spend 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. working on something that they're very passionate about, rather than spending 8 to 5 p.m. working on something that they're just trudging through and not actually being very productive. Next thing would be, did any students in class demonstrate servant leadership? Yes. In thinking about it, I couldn't actually single out a specific person that demonstrated exemplary servant leadership, but everybody from every team, I could think of like aspects of servant leadership that they resonated with or that they emanated. So I couldn't name a specific person. I wouldn't be able to. But everybody had traits of servant leadership, and I think everybody has an opportunity to grow with servant leadership, and it would actually be very beneficial if everybody actually held on to this book and used it as a resource later in life, because everybody has a potential to grow in the servant leadership realm. Did you demonstrate servant leadership characteristics during the semester? I hope so. After reading the book, I tried to, lead from a different place than maybe what I would have without reading the Cashman book. But it's tough to, judge yourself in the servant leadership area. That's kind of the job of other people and how they perceive your leadership. So you can ask Brianna and Bradley. We'll see what their course evaluations say. But I hope, maybe I can improve upon that. I'm sure there are things I did well and things that I can improve upon. Has it changed your perspective on leadership? I kind of already said this, but yes, it definitely has. I hope to lead as a servant leader later on in life once, branching off into the aerospace industry. So I want to discuss now where I can improve. So there are a few areas I was thinking of, and one of them was conflict and addressing conflict in the best way possible. One of my 40-day challenge, elements was to confront conflict and, try to resolve the conflict as fast as possible, where in the past, I usually just try to avoid it at all costs. I usually don't get mad. I usually don't get perturbed or, get myself into conflict. It might happen, 2 to 3, maybe 3 to 4 times a year where I'm really in conflict or actually get mad. I don't really get mad that often. Where instead of addressing it, usually what I do is not talk to the person or, things of that sort. It's not a conducive and, productive way of approaching things. So I can improve upon that. With this group, it didn't really come up too much. There might have been conflict with Bradley and the way he was participating in the group. I didn't address it as well as I probably could have. I know Brianna kind of took more of that approach to kind of stimulate his participation. So I could have played a larger role, so I think I could have improved there. And just in my life in general, I think that's something I can work on. The next element would be, I think the next element would be a subset of micromanagement, or maybe just trying to take control too much. So there was a tendency to do something myself rather than trust that it can be done by my team and or specific partners individually, because I found, if something was supposed to be done, a lot of times, even if it was done, I'd have to go back and reformat and edit and, maybe contribute a lot more time than might have been needed, so I'd rather just do it from the get-go. That way it's efficient. But that's not really relying on your team. It's not having confidence in your team, and it's not the most ideal situation. So that's an area I can improve upon. Maybe if there's something that's not working, talk to the team member, communicate that issue. That way it's better for both parties rather than them being left, not really understanding what's going on, and you being frustrated and them not understanding what's going on. So that could be an area of improvement. Next, would your teammates or client consider you a servant leader? Client with Kim, hopefully. I don't really know. Bradley was our primary contact, though I did contact with Kim a little bit, so hopefully she just, thought us as a team were servant leaders and did so to the best of our ability. As far as teammates, I don't know. I hope so. I tried to be motivating. I tried to be, supportive of the team. I tried to provide direction when needed and, do my part. So hopefully, we'll see. Regarding your client experience, what were the key takeaways from your experience? And summarize how you will not take concepts away forward. Key takeaways from the experience: Kim was a great woman. She was great to work with. She answered all of our questions very fast and easily. It was a little more difficult because of their transition, but key takeaways: it gave me a new appreciation for service and for nonprofit organizations and kind of the inner workings of how they are organized. So that was great. What concepts will I take forward? The Cashman book. The Cashman book. That's all I can really say. Every element of that I want to go through and diagnose. So, thank you. Thank you for a wonderful class. Have a great winter holiday, and I will let you know how grad school goes. Thank you.